Have you ever wanted a flashlight in Horizon? One that can put off a beam of light and also reveal objects? Kind of similar to the one that we saw in Dan Blast's zombie game. Let's take a look at how we made this. We have a black object surrounding the object we want to show, and once we hit it with the flashlight, it becomes invisible, revealing the object. Take your object, group it inside of a black box, make sure to tag it dark, and the dark tag is what triggers. And so if we come to our trigger here, you'll see that our trigger is on objects tagged dark. So when it enters that object, that's what triggers the reveal. We have our flashlight, which groups all of this together. So we've got the flashlight, we have the beam of light, and we have a long trigger that goes through the beam of light. So that's what's going to reveal our object. And then the flashlight is grabbable. It's worth noting that the beam of light is non-collidable, and I'd initially worked with a hide and show script, but the hide and show script made this collidable again, and I don't know if that's intentional or not, but instead I used a scale because that one works almost identically. Let's start with the object script. This runs on the object itself, so that's the two-part object, the one with the cloak and the object inside. And when the world is started, we set its simulation to be false, so that way it's not, you can't grab it, you can't interact with it. And then when my event is received, we hide the cloak and we set simulated to be true. So now we've enabled the object. The only variable we have is cloak, which tags the black box around it. Then we have our flashlight trigger. And on that trigger, we are running the script when trigger enters with object, send my event to that object. That is how when this trigger hits any object labeled dark, it can reveal that object. On our flashlight, we have a few variables. We have the object light, we have the object trigger, and we have a vector, which is the scale of the light. So at the very beginning of the world, we set the scale of the light, and then we disable the trigger and we scale the light to be 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, basically making it invisible. Then, when index trigger is pressed with player, we enable the trigger and scale light scale times 8 on the light. And for some reason, my light scale didn't save the vector quite right. I think it has to do with the grouping of objects. And so in this instance, I did have to multiply it by 8. I had to finesse that number until I got it right where I liked it. And then when index trigger is released, we disable the trigger and scale it back to 0.01 on the light. And that's it. It's very simple. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!